What's going on, everybody? This is Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and we got to dive into the latest injury news surrounding the San Francisco 49ers and what will that mean for the Seattle Seahawks. Make sure that you hit that sub button. We got daily Seahawks content coming out for you. And, of course, go and smash that thumbs up button. Hit the like button if you want the Seahawks to beat the 49ers on Saturday. Do not jinx it. Also, Happy New Year's Eve to everyone. I hope everyone's going to have a wonderful day and a wonderful night, and I hope that everyone stays safe and stays healthy. All right, so the 49ers actually have a pretty similar injury report to the Seahawks. In fact, Seahawks got some good news recently. Just as I went on and started recording the video, Rashid Shaheed got cleared to practice today. So that's a good sign. Not fully cleared yet for the game, but he is going to practice. Big news. Okay, so now on to what the main bits and pieces of this video are going to be, and that, of course, is going to be on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, you might have noticed that Christian McCaffrey, he did not participate in practice. He was dealing with a back injury. I believe that this was more of a precautionary thing, and Christian McCaffrey kind of said that as well, where it was like, hey, man, probably could have went. Don't need to go on a Tuesday. I'm CMC, and I'm as good as they come, right? Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing a little bit there, but there is no world where I see Christian McCaffrey not playing in this game, right? He is their best player. It's not close. He's leading their team in receiving as well as rushing. The guy's just a freak. He's a freak of all freaks, and sometimes when freaks need days off, they get days off, even if it's in the middle of the most important week of the entire season. And the 49ers can steal an extra day or two for him to be 100% healthy. They're going to steal an extra day or two so that he can be 100% healthy. Now, the big news that I think we were all kind of on pins and needles waiting for, Trent Williams. Trent Williams did not participate in practice with a hamstring injury. Now, unfortunately for Seahawks fans, and look, we don't root for bad news. We don't root for injury news here. I want that very clear. But to sit here and pretend like, oh, beating San Francisco is just as easy or just as difficult whether Trent Williams plays or doesn't play is not true. Trent Williams not playing would make this game 1,000 times easier, just like it is for the 49ers. Charles Cross isn't able to go. It's easier for them to beat us, and that is good news for them. Right now, Trent Williams did not participate in practice with that hamstring injury. It doesn't look like he's necessarily on track to play, but they're going to wait until the very last minute to decide whether he can play or not. Kyle Shanahan made that very, and I do mean very clear, in his press conferences and his media availability this week. He basically came out and said, hey, man, our plan right now for Trent Williams is he's going to be a game time decision. They are going to give him every possible chance to play in this game, and it makes sense. He's been the best left tackle in the National Football League for probably a decade or so. Like, he's that freaking good. You can see the splits for CMC when he's running left versus when he's running right. The guy's an absolute freak, and he's a do-it-all type of guy. He can block well in pass pro just as well as he can block in the run game. So Trent Williams not being able to go would be a big deal for San Francisco, and it would be a big enough deal that Seattle, I would expect, would try to take extra advantage of it. What do I mean by that? Head coach Mike Macdonald likes to stay in his base personnel. It's a lot of four-man rushes. For an offensive line, that should be easy to kind of pick up. But what Macdonald does a great job of is getting everybody onto the line of scrimmage, making the offensive linemen pick who they think are going to come, and they do a great job of picking incorrectly. Macdonald does a great job of disguising who's going to be in the four that are rushing without actually having to add in extra guys to blitz. You're telling me that San Francisco is going to have to throw up a backup tackle out there and he's going to be able to OTA loop through that thing as fast as possible and understand, hey, if this guy doesn't come, then I can move to this guy, or here's the call for this. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Trent Williams, even at his elder age, is still a top 5 tackle in the National Football League. Like, he's that freaking good. And so to me, if he's unable to go, it makes life easier for Seattle and the Stars. And it makes it easier for guys like Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence to really take advantage of one-on-one matchups if they are on the outside and have an opportunity to go up against that backup. Now, I do want to dive into some of the bad news that we kind of expected to happen, some of the bad San Francisco 49ers injury news that Probably wasn't going to be as effective in this one. But I do want to ask you a question. How will the Seahawks try to stop Christian McCaffrey in this one? Is it going to be adding more into the box because Trent Williams is no longer there? Is it going to be Seattle sticking in that base and then having to adjust out of it? CMC had a pretty darn good game against Seattle in the very first matchup. What will Seattle do to try and slow him down and beat him in this one? Let me know down below in the comments. I got a couple more bad injury news things I got to talk about. But first, I need to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops. And Prize Picks lets you take control. New feature alert. Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Find your community on Prize Picks. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us and tailor-fade our picks with just one click. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Okay, so the injury news that I want to talk about, and I think if you clicked on this video, you know the main discussion point that we're going to have is George Kittle. Because George Kittle, he wasn't able to go against the Chicago Bears, obviously dealing with an ankle injury. He's going to play in this one. Telling you right now, saw him run around, moving around on Tuesday. He's going to play in this game. Kyle Shanahan tried to do it's a walk through, like guys weren't even hitting. Who knows if he'll play or not. George Kittle's playing. So we have to go into it prepared for him to play. And a couple of things that I want to talk about with George Kittle is how are we going to attack him in both the run game and in the passing game? Because George Kittle is a very capable blocker, and he's a very willing blocker, which you really don't see in that tight end position room anymore. Now, I'm not here to tell you that if he goes one-on-one with Big Cat's going to lose. Like, that just doesn't happen. But he does a great job of adding into the double teams to allow CMC to find open holes and to carve into open holes. Seattle's going to have to find a way to really read a lot of his blocks, especially when they go to those outside run plays. That all hinges off the tight end. It tells CMC whether he needs to bounce it to the outside or if he needs to cut back inside. So how will Seattle fill those gaps? How will Seattle attack him? I'm very interested to see. The other thing I'm very interested to see is how him and Nicky Manwari go against each other in the passing game. Because to me, that seems like the easy matchup. Throw Nicky Manwari on Kittle. He's as big as Kittle. He's as strong as Kittle. He probably is faster than Kittle. Like, that's how much of a freak Nicky Manwari is. There's a reason why we play him in the big nickel spot. There's a reason why we talk so highly about him. Nicky Manwari has to have a massive game in this one because he's going to be tasked with shutting down George Kittle all freaking night long. Is he going to be able to rise up to the task? Is he going to be able to perform at a level that we need if we are going to get the victory that we want? I think that he can do it. In fact, I know he can do it because he's shown that he can do it in spurts. But Nicky Manwari versus George Kittle is going to be the matchup to watch in this game. If Nicky Manwari is unable to shut down George Kittle, we might be in a problem. We might have some trouble. Because remember, George Kittle really carved up Seattle until he hurt his hamstring, I believe is what it was. Lower body injury for sure in the first matchup. And again, Nicky Manwari, first game, was only there for 5 plays, and then he was done. So, now that we're going to get good on good, and we're probably going to get it for the entire game, can Nicky Manwari rise to the occasion? I really freaking hope so. Some other players to talk about. Kyle Juszcyzk has a hip injury. We'll be interested to see what happens with him. He did not participate in practice on Tuesday. And Ricky Pearsall, he was a limited participant in practice, dealing with a knee and an ankle. Now, he did play against the Chicago Bears. Again, I don't see a world where he doesn't play against the Seattle Seahawks. I'd love to see him go toe-to-toe with our guy, Devin Witherspoon. Can Witherspoon shut him down? I think that would definitely happen in this matchup. Got a question to ask you. What is your confidence level that the Seahawks will win on Saturday? Scale that 1 to 12 in the comments. I think right now I'm sitting at a high 8. and I feel pretty good about that number. When you're looking at the injury reports, both teams clearly have a lot of guys that are injured. At this point, it is a survival of the fittest to a degree, but it is important to note that we're going to San Francisco or Santa Clara, whatever, same thing, right? We are going on the road. It's always more difficult to win on the road. Hopefully Seattle can get it done. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Like I said, Happy New Year. Thank you guys to everyone who started subscribing to the channel, who tunes into our videos every single day. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me taking over a channel and getting the love and appreciation that I do from this community. It means the freaking world to me. Please stay safe tonight. It's New Year's Eve. Make sure that you have a fun and happy 2026. I'm excited. It's going to be our year, and I don't just mean in our personal lives, but hopefully in our Seahawk fandom as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next time.